I'm a recruiter and I review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a software engineer, and this person has already failed from the get-go. And my job is to tell them why they failed, how to improve it so that they can get a job. And yeah, that's it. I want to help you all get jobs. I want to let everybody know I feel awful today, so this is going to be blunter than I normally am, but hey, your recruiter might actually be that blunt in the first place. So I said this person has failed from the get-go, and the reason they have failed is they did not pick a stack. If you are a software engineer, you need to pick a stack or you get rejected. And I do more than software engineers. I do everything from accountants to zebra handlers, but 90% of the resumes sent to me are tech, so most of them are tech, but I do non-tech as well. So if you are a software engineer, you need to pick a stack. And I say this as somebody who has worked on stack agnostic roles. You are not going to get those. They barely exist in the overall market. So what are these 6 stacks? It is full stack, AI engineer, which technically isn't a stack, but it's there. Python backend, Java backend, C#.NET backend, and front end. So you need to pick those stacks. The most common stack is full stack. So this is what we need for a full stack software developer. Again, is this person a full stack? I don't know. They didn't tell me, which is part of the problem. The only note they told me is I'm just a fresher. And well, you being just a fresher means that guess what? You are in for one of the hardest job searches of your life. The hardest job search of your life, not even counting the economy, which by the way is in shambles. The economy is completely cooked. We are in a recession, a full-on recession, and the government has done everything they can to make it worse. Is get your first job, even in a good economy, which we ain't in. And freshers are going to have the hardest time getting a job because getting your first 2 years experience is, again, the hardest part. So what do we need for a full stack developer? We need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. But Lee, HTML and CSS, no. You need JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I don't care how basic you think it is. I don't care if you think other people have it. I don't care if you think X implies Y. If I do not see TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS in your bullet points, you are getting rejected. Is that fair? No, but life is not fair and searching for a job is definitely not fair. That is why we have laws to protect you. And unfortunately, those laws are being dismantled as we speak. So we need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful API or REST API, SQL, any of them, cloud, any of those. But you do have to mention it. And if you hear me breathe deep, it's because, again, I'm having some medical issues right now. I will survive, but I'm going to have a lot of deep breaths, and I'm going to be out of breath through most of this because I have a bit of a heart issue. So React or React Native, Git or GitHub, CI/CD, Agile, DevOps, and then extra credit is for the rest of that stuff. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need. Can I find that in 20 seconds? No. And I know that because A, they didn't pick a stack, and B, they actually told me their ratio. And the ratio is how you can determine if your resume is good or garbage. If you are getting at least 50 applications to one interview, you have a C- resume. If it takes you over 150 applications to get a single interview, your resume is bad. That's just full stop. And when people follow my method, they get 1 interview per 7 applications. That is the average that people get. There's a little bit of an asterisk for remote work and international people because their ratio is a little bit higher, but 1 in 7 is what I get, people. And this person is over 150 to 1. So this is a bad resume. The other thing you will need to do is apply to jobs within the first 100 people. Applying to jobs is 2 things. 1, your resume has to be accurate. 2, your resume needs to be within the first 100 people. Otherwise, you're not going to get seen. So if you are applying within the first 100 people and you're getting rejected left and right, then the answer is unequivocally your resume. My guide, which is below, shows you how to do that. Even with the new LinkedIn changes, which are horrible and sloppy, which this was recorded on 8/14, so it's unfortunately should be completely rolled out by then. So let's get to it. Let's see if I can find what I can find in 20 seconds, because that is the only amount of time that recruiters have. I All right, 20 seconds on the clock. If this resume destroys me, y'all can blame it for being that bad. All right, and go. This doesn't count. Education does. Built a Python, Amazon, India, web scraper. This doesn't matter. Garbage. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This doesn't count. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, time. I didn't need the full time to know that this doesn't work. This is why you're getting rejected. So, couple things. First things first. This is the format that you want to use. This is what it should look like. The link below is how you do it. That is what you want. Second off, you may be asking me, Lee, what are you talking about? I see HTML, CSS. I see SQL. I see Python. I see Tailwind, I see Node.js, I see MongoDB, I see all the stuff that you said. Well, the problem is I'm not keyword hunting. If I was keyword hunting, then the skills section would be fine. The problem is skill sections are garbage and they shouldn't be on your resume. Everybody fights to include them, and I will say fight me. They're bad. Skill sections are bad. The reason is, again, we are qualification hunting, not keyword hunting. So what a qualification is a keyword, which is what the hiring team needs, right? This is what the hiring team needs. So it's a keyword plus how you use that keyword plus where you did it, which is only under a job, right? As long as it's under a job, a project, or an internship, you're fine. And the reason you did it that Bob could understand. Bob is going to be your manager. Bob is a technical manager. Bob somehow still can't turn on his monitor without help from IT and tech support. Bob needs his assistant to send an email. This is the person you need to write your resume for. And Bob needs to understand what you did, how you did it, and why it benefited the business. And if you cannot give me what, how, why, it might as well not exist in your resume. So, because a skill section does not tell me how, does not tell me why, and does not tell me where, this might as well not exist. Then we go down to here. And again, this doesn't count. This doesn't count because it doesn't tell me how and why. And then when you start looking at this, you start understanding why this person is getting 0 interviews. They said built a Python. Okay, that's something I'm looking for, right? Based Amazon India web scraper. Okay, that's fine. That gives me a little context. Capable of extracting 1,000 product listings, including price, texting, reviews, and availability. Why do I care about that? I don't. That project may be impressive. That project may have saved lives, but nobody cares because it doesn't tell me how it impacted the business, and Bob doesn't understand. So, that is a garbage sentence. And then this also garbage, doesn't count, doesn't count, doesn't count. And I am not calling them garbage. I'm calling this what their resume garbage. There's a big difference. So, how would I fix this? Well, first off, I want to use a little metaphor that I use every single stream. Is I want to use the hot dogs versus hamburgers because this has way too many hot dogs and 0 hamburgers. So when you go to a restaurant, if you ordered a hamburger and they bring you a plate of hot dogs, you would be confused. And you would ask the waiter, why did you bring me a plate of hot dogs when I asked for a hamburger? And the waiter would say, well, these are the best hot dogs in the world. And you'd say, cool, I don't care, I want a hamburger. And they say, but these are the best hot dogs in the world. You say, I don't care, I want a hamburger. So then they say, well, if you think about it, a hot dog is like a hamburger because a hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has buns, and a hot dog can have the same ketchup, mustard, and tomatoes, ketchup, mustard, and onions, just like a hamburger. And you would say, that is not what I ordered. I don't care if they're close to the same. I want exactly what I ordered, and I'm going to leave this restaurant. That's the exact same problem. Your resume is your restaurant. You are serving us hamburgers. And if it's not this, it doesn't count. So, when you said Amazon India web scraper, blah, 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 there is nothing I could use here. And this is what this resume looks like to me. And it looks like this to everybody else, too. It's not just me. Remember, this person has is it subjective or objective? Their resume stinks, all right? I don't remember if it was objective or subjective. But based on the both, let's say both of that, because they are getting 150 to 1. And if you are getting 150 to 1 and you're applying within the first 100 people, your resume is garbage. And that is a fact that you kind of have to realize. And that's not fair. Again, it's not just, but getting a job is not fair or just. That's what laws are for. So when you put all this, I don't care. Like, why do I care that you developed a web app that converts hand gestures? I don't. I care that you use the tools that I'm going to have you use at the job. And I don't see any of those. I don't see TypeScript. I don't see JavaScript. I don't see HTML, CSS. I don't see RESTful API or REST API. I don't see SQL. I don't see cloud. I don't see backend. Oh, I did see one backend, so I'll give you that one. I don't see React or React Native. I don't see Git. I don't see CI/CD. I don't see Agile. I don't see DevOps. So this is why you're getting rejected, is you are sending in a blank piece of paper that only says, I have used Python, and you don't even tell me what you used it for in a way that is understandable. So all these projects, all this stuff, none of that is relevant. This is what your resume looks like. This is why you are struggling to get a job. Again, we are in a recession, but this is why this particular resume is struggling to get a job. Even in a good economy, this person probably still wouldn't get interviews because this resume is that bad. So what I need you to do is, projects don't need dates. It's okay. Projects don't need dates. Internships and work experience do. Projects don't. But I need you to delete this because it's a blank piece of paper, and a blank piece of paper is not going to get you hired, because I need to see what you did, how you did it, and why it impacted the business in a way that Bob would understand. And you have not done that. And you need 75% of these, or else you get rejected. So that is why this resume is unequivocally garbage. So before we go to the next resume, I just want to thank my members. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I couldn't do what I do without your financial support. They keep this channel alive. So if you want to be a member, you can join in the link below. They get access to videos early. And they get access to my past live streams. So to my members, thank you for keeping this channel alive. I could not do it without you. And to everybody, if you ever need your resume reviewed, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. And just type !raffle in the chat so that you can get your resume reviewed. But with that said, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. So this person has a 150, so it's another bad resume. I cannot scroll higher than this because this person fully doxed themselves. So don't dox yourself, please. I will do what I can to remove pertinent information, but please don't put your phone number and email here or anybody else's. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. Please redact your information. So I cannot scroll past this page. So let's see what they've got. This is a full stack. We got 20 seconds on the clock. And yeah, let's see what we can do. Boop. And go. Okay. Implemented a REST API just for handling. Why does this matter? This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Never make your resume more than one column. Using AWS CDK, nope. And time. Yeah, no. All right, time. So, again, kind of the same problem as the other one, is this is filled to the brim with hot dogs. I cannot use almost any of this information. Why do I care that you handled 10K requests? I don't. I don't care how impressive it is. No one cares how impressive it is. They care how it's relevant. And you need to describe how your job is to Bob, because Bob is the one that decides if that is actually relevant. If you handle 10K requests a minute and they have 100K requests a minute, cool. They don't need you because you can't do what they can do. And you already proved it by only handling 10K instead of 100K. And on the flip side, if you can only handle 10K and they have 100 requests per minute, they're going to think you're overqualified and not move you forward. So none of this resume works. Like, is it good that they put RESTful API in Java and Spring Boot? Yeah, that's fine. But, like, that's it besides CI/CD. And you need to be very, very, very explicit about what you say. Because if Java is different than JavaScript, then AWS CDK is different than AWS. So you actually don't have the cloud, which is big because cloud is very important because you put CDK over here. Also, for the love of everything that is holy and all the recruitment people, never make more than one column. I have never seen in my life a resume that is improved by being more than one column. Never, ever, 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 ever put more than one column. So, you know what I don't see? I don't see any of this besides RESTful API, Java, and CI/CD. Again, what is this? Tech stack? Cool. Doesn't matter. You need to describe how you use it. Built a full stack with what? This doesn't count. Tailwind CSS is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for CSS. Remember, if Java is different than JavaScript, then Tailwind CSS is different than CSS. Does it matter that it actually is? No, but that's what people will assume. Yeah, there's nothing salvageable about this resume. Like, this resume needs to be deleted because nothing here matters. I need you to explain to me, Bob, and to Bob themselves why your project was important. Why was it important that you did this? And the answer is, I don't know. Also, Jan to June of what year? I like, nothing on this works. Like, this entire resume is filled with hot dogs, and it's filled with stuff that is not relevant to the role, and it's filled with weird formatting. Again, what year? I need the year. You can't just say Jan to June. You need to tell me what. You need to use this formatting. This is what you need it to, how you do it. Because there's nothing here that I can use. This person is struggling. They worked at Amazon. They do all of these impressive projects, but nobody cares because that's not what gets you hired. It doesn't matter how impressive your project is. It matters how relevant you are to the role. And this person is showing every single person that they are not relevant and none of their skills matter for the role they have by not putting what, how, why. And 2 column. Never do 2 columns. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of an AI engineer. So, what do we need for an AI engineer? We need degree. We need a basic understanding of software stuff. So basically, we need Python, TypeScript, JavaScript. One of those, right? We don't need all of them necessarily, but we need at least one of them. And then we need like React, SQL, Git, Cloud APIs. And then we need basic AI. Anything from that list is fine. And then I need to see that you can explain technical concepts to non-technical people. And what you also need to have is, which I don't know why is not in here, is the ability to work well with others and take direction and criticism, which I always misspell. If you are an intern and you do not have the ability to work well with others or take direction and criticism, you are in for a bad time. It is a requirement. It is ridiculous, but it is needed to put in your resume. So, my advice works in the US. My advice works in India. My advice works everywhere in the globe with the exception of the Netherlands. I don't know why. It works in the rest of the EU, including Germany and Turkey, but does not work in the Netherlands. So my advice does work everywhere in the world. There is just, instead of being 100% accurate, it's like 90% accurate because there's going to be differences in your individual job market that I will not be able to do. So, what do we need? Let's see if we can find it. Do we know if this is a good or garbage resume? And their answer is unknown. They're just looking for an internship. So, let's see if this is good or garbage. 20 seconds is on the clock. And go. Oh, cool. Okay. This doesn't count. Developed a stateful engine language, multiple powered by whatever's a Grok whisperer large. I don't care about that. Let's see. What about this one? No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, time. Yeah, this is incomprehensible. You can't make your resume like this, folks. Like, I get it. You think you're writing it for a technical audience, but Bob is not going to understand this. And even if Bob is the technical manager, Bob still wants you to write it in a way that is understandable to a layman. And I don't see Python here. I don't see Git or Cloud or APIs. I only see LangGraph and LangChain. I don't think that you can explain concepts to non-technical people. In fact, this specifically, based on how you wrote this, This specifically shows me that you can't explain technical details to non-technical people. So I wouldn't move forward with you on that. And I don't see that you can work well together with others. I just don't see it. So there is a reason this is a bad resume, is this doesn't matter. Remember, nothing here counts. Then nothing here counts. Then this means nothing. Again, this first one doesn't count because why did you do this? I don't know. Why do I care that they interact with NPCs? It doesn't matter. I don't know why that matters at all, and it doesn't. Nothing here matters. Oh, you had so much irrelevant information that I actually missed the Python and the fast APIs down here. Although again, what you described doesn't matter anyway. Then this I can't use, this I can't use. Like, this is why you're not getting internships. Like, this person hasn't had any internships despite having a publication. They co-authored a paper and they can't get an internship because what you did doesn't matter. How you describe what you did does. Somebody that made a program that when you click a button it says hello with an agent will get that describes it in a way that Bob understands with this stuff will get more interviews than someone that created a paper. There is a myth among software engineers that if you are just good enough, if you grind hard enough, if you hustle, you will get a job. And the answer is no. No one cares how hard you work. We care about what's relevant. So this resume needs to be redone. I need to see the stuff I actually care about. I need to see that you can explain technical concepts to non-technical people. I need to see that you can work well with others and take direction and criticism. And stop bolding everything. This is the amount of stuff that should be bolded on your resume. With the exception of if this is projects, then projects go down here and those are bolded. And then you don't put dates on projects. So this is it. This is what it should look like. This is an incomprehensible mess that tells me nothing. Again, you're trying to show me that you know so much about tech, but no one cares. No one cares how much you know about tech. It's all about how you describe it, and you have described it poorly. Next, resume. This is a data analyst intern. This person does not know their ratio. They said, I've redone my resume multiple times after watching your videos. I'm a senior in uni, and since I don't have a lot of time left for internships, I'm starting to apply to entry-level roles. But you are graduating too far off. If you are applying for roles prior to 3 months, you are mostly going to get rejected. There are some companies that hire prior to 3 months. Again, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying most of them don't exist. Like, typically the very, very big companies like Google and them will hire freshers that far in advance, but almost everybody else will, if you cannot start within 3 months, you shouldn't apply. So, let's see. So what do we need for a data analyst intern? We need degree. We need SQL, Python, Power BI, Tableau, Excel, MS Office, PowerPoint, AI tools, R, industry, if you have it. You don't need all of those. I'd say you need about like 50% of those. So I do need to see them, but I don't necessarily need to see all of them. And then I need to see the ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. That is critical. Also, no one really cares how you got the data. I want to know what the data was used for. So let's see if this person actually followed my methodologies. And the answer is no, they didn't. This resume looks different than mine. This does not look like this. This does not look like this. So immediately they did not do that. So 20 seconds is on the clock. Let's see if the bullet points are good though. And go. Formatting is bad. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Built and automated ETL doesn't matter. With Python does in SQL. Why do I care about that? Implemented preload validation checks in Python to present malformed API. That means nothing, means nothing, means nothing. All right, time. They ran out of time. Let me undo this. So this is not my formatting. This is my formatting. This is not. I get it. You want to add more stuff, but less is more. Less word better than more word. So first things first, we delete this. No one cares about your community college. If you're already enrolled and expected to graduate in June, that's fine. Then stop with the lines here. Then this should be one line, not bolded. Then, if you are applying to jobs outside of Los Angeles, you need to put right here, under here, instead of here, you need to put here, moving to X by Y can move earlier if needed. So you put US citizen, moving to X by Y date can move earlier if needed. Because if you are applying in San Fran and you're in Los Angeles, they are going to reject you unless they see that you are already moving there. Then remember, no one cares about this. These bullet points are very bad as well. While it is good that they mentioned Python, right? It's good that they mentioned SQL, and it is good that they mentioned. Oh, that's it. That's actually all they mentioned. So why is it that you have 3 bullet points, and in those 3 bullet points, the only thing I care about is 2 things here, nothing here, nothing here. You need a minimum of 3 keywords per bullet point. If you cannot put 3 keywords per bullet point, that bullet point should not exist. A maximum of 6. Because I don't care that you built an ETL. Why does it matter that it receives stream APIs? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Why doesn't it matter that it validated expected response fields? I don't know. It didn't tell me. And loaded structures into Postgre for analysts. Why does that matter? I don't know. You didn't tell me. And the rest of this is just doesn't work. Like there's nothing there. Like if there was just a little bit, I could do it. Because again, you cannot repeat the same keyword in the same project or job. Also, projects do not have dates. Projects do not have dates. And then we go down here, which is built to Python. So Python here is good. Okay, but why did you do this? I don't know. It doesn't matter. And then again, the only thing you have is Python. Where is Power BI? Where's Tableau? Where's Excel? Where's MS Office? Where's PowerPoint? Where are the AI tools? Where's R and what is the industry? I don't know because you did not tell me. Can you work well with others? Doesn't look like it. Can you take direction and criticism? Doesn't look like it. I need you to focus up on that stuff. And in fact, down here, why is your internship in a data analyst role below the projects? Like, yeah, you may not put this in, that's fine, but like, why is this, which has some relevant stuff, not up front? The order of operations is relevancy first, work experience, internships, and projects. Although you only have Excel here, and I need more. Like, I need you to focus up on putting this stuff in because we don't care. We don't care that you did all this stuff. You're not going to impress us. No one cares that you used a cross-validation, accuracy, precision, ROC, OAuth, Civim achieved the highest accuracy on held-out match data. You know what I care about? Why you did it. You know what I care about? That you can work well with others and take direction and criticism. I care about Power BI, Tableau, Excel, MS Office, AI, Power Tools, R in the industry, and I don't see any of that. This resume needs to be deleted and you need to start again because this is not my methods. I don't see anything here that is my methods at all, actually. Besides, no, I don't see anything that is my methods. So, next resume. This is a nope. Python developer. I'm tired, y'all. Python software engineer. So there is a note about this resume that I wanted to let you all know. This person is looking for full-time roles. The problem is they have not graduated until May. This was recorded on August 14th, 2026. And if you are not companies do not hire you unless you can join within 3 months. So even with a stellar, perfect resume, this person will not get interviews until February of next year. And I just want to let everybody know that because it's very rare for a company to hire prior to you starting in 3 months. If you're not able to start in 3 months in the US, you might as well not apply. There's very few companies that hire that far in advance. Some of FANG companies do, right? They do freshers, but The most of the market doesn't. I know this is a little bit different in the EU, but in the US, you're not going to get a job unless you can get there within 3 months of graduation. So I have let this person know. We are going to assume that this person has already graduated or is about to. Otherwise, this review would be worthless. So what do we need for a Python dev? We need Python, SQL, Cloud, RESTful APIs, or REST APIs. Git, CI/CD, Django, Flask, Docker, Agile, Fast APIs. And then this is where it breaks down into two separate roles. You either have the AI side, which is AI agents, LangGraph, LLMs, ML, RAG, MCP, Pydantic, that kind of stuff. Or it breaks down into full stack where you have TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and React. So typically you're not going to want both of those. You're just going to want to pick one of them. So let's see if this resume is good or bad. Again, this person said, just started applying, trying to make sure I do about 25 apps a week consistently, which you shouldn't because you want 50 a week. And again, your applications don't matter until February. So yeah, we're again, wanted to let everybody know that you need to be able to be starting within 3 months. So you actually shouldn't be applying until probably, I'd say February, maybe late January. Unless it's at a very, 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 very big global corporation that does it. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting your time. So, 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what we got. And this is an SCP article. Go. Okay. Built Python-based data pipelines, processing, don't care, of geospatial data using AWS, not S3, for scalable storage, and Docker with AWS, not EC2 to execute files. But why does this matter? It doesn't. Develop tooling for satellite imagery across, I don't care, leveraging and Redis, doesn't matter, to avoid tasking, this doesn't matter, and time. So this isn't, again, this is not a delete this and start again. I want to be clear. Also, I think it's funny, like, I understand why you redacted that, but I can't, this sentence I can't do anything with. I can't help you with this one. It's all redacted. But yeah, the problem I have with this is, again, this is still a little too technical. Your formatting is off. Remember, this is what it should look like. This should not be bolded. This should be italicized, and you need a little dot here. So there should be a dot there. That should be italicized. But these sentences are still bad. Like, you don't want numbers. I know everybody tries to put numbers because everybody's lying to you about numbers, but like, don't put numbers in your resume except for your dates of employment and your phone number and when you graduated. It's bad. Like, no one cares about 100 gigabytes. No one cares about 10 endpoints. No one cares about 95 to 3 to 10. They mean nothing. They literally make your resume harder to read. So I would prefer you redo this sentence and say, built Python-based data processing, built a Python data pipelines using AWS and Docker and then you need to explain what you did, because execute test suites within centralized simulation environments means nothing. You need to have it be understandable by Bob. And I know you know a Bob in your life. It might be your parent. It might be your grandparent. It might be your partner. It might be a significant other. It might be a friend. You need them to understand why you did what you did, because if they can't, you're going to fail. Like, I don't care, 10 endpoints. This means nothing. This means nothing. Why did you do this? I don't know. And again, you only have one thing here and you only have two here. And each bullet point needs to contain a minimum of 3, a maximum of 6. And then an implemented metadata functionality for a REST API integrating AWS for scalable blah, blah, blah. Well, why does this matter? Why did this matter? I don't know. And again, only one. Then this doesn't matter. And then this doesn't matter. So why is it that you have 4 bullet points and you only have 6 things to go between all of them? I need you to redo this. Again, this is not a destroy this resume and, remake all of it. You can fix some of it. I need to know this stuff. Like, what about Fast API? What about Django and Flask? What about Docker? What about Git? What about CI/CD? I don't know. You didn't tell me. What about? And then I need you to either put in AI or full stack, because no one hires a Python dev to do Python. They hire a Python dev to do full stack, or they hire a Python dev to do AI. That's just what the market looks like. So please remake these sentences in a way that is understandable to Bob, so that when it comes time, when you start actually applying again, you will start getting interviews in February. Because right now there's just not any, like, it's like a D- resume, right? Like, it doesn't pass, but it's kind of close to passing, but it just doesn't. So I need you to make those changes. And that'll be it for this video. So thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. And, to my members, thank you for your financial support. My members are the entire reason I'm able to give this advice for free to everybody. So if you want to support this channel and keep me alive, please, feel free to join below and become a member. My members get access to videos early, and they get access to the past live streams. So to my members, thank you for keeping this channel alive. I could not do this without you. And to everybody, if you ever want your resume reviewed, you can always join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST and type !raffle into either YouTube or Twitch at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter to get a chance for your resume to be reviewed. All of it is free. You do not need to enter or do anything. You just need to type that in the chat and you're in. So that is it for me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Later.